A thick fog lay over Venice that night, and no one knew why. The city was silent, as if it were hiding a secret. In the old library of Palazzo Grimani, candlelight flickered. The elderly caretaker, Lorenzo, paused as he wiped the dusty cover of a book with his hands. Something had changed. Between the shelves, there was a gap he had never noticed before. Small but unmistakably there, a book was missing. Lorenzo's heart began to beat slowly, heavily. He had worked in this library for 40 years and knew the place of every book by heart. He knew their scent, their weight, the rustle of their pages. But now, in the middle of the third shelf, right where the Byzantine manuscripts were kept, there was an absence. He lifted the candle closer. The traces in the dust were strange. Someone had been here, but when? Lorenzo locked the doors with his own hands every evening. All the windows were protected by iron bars. The owner of the palazzo, the old Count Grimani, had died months ago, leaving behind only Lorenzo and silence. The old man slowly stepped back. Had he heard a sound in the dark corridors? No, only his own breathing. And yet, something was wrong. The library was always quiet, but tonight the silence was different, as if the building itself were holding its breath. Lorenzo took the lantern and began moving between the shelves. Shadows danced on the walls. His footsteps made no sound on the old carpets. Even the water sounds from Venice's streets could now be heard. It was that quiet inside the library. But what truly stirred his curiosity was the identity of the missing book. Lorenzo opened his ledger. The catalogue had been prepared years ago, in the time of the Count's father. He turned the pages, his trembling fingers following the faded ink. And then he found it, Liber Silenti, the Book of Silence, 1456, author unknown. Beside it was a note in Latin, Nocte legendum es. It must be read at night. Lorenzo raised his head. He had seen this book for years but had never opened it. The Count's orders were clear. Some books were not to be touched. But now the book was gone, and for the first time, Lorenzo wondered what it contained. As fog rose from the canals in the depths of the night, Lorenzo made a decision. He had to find the book. But first, he needed to learn who had taken it. He went to the palazzo's old records. In the basement, in a damp, dark room, hundreds of documents were stored in chests. Candlelight struck the stone walls, stretching and shrinking the shadows. Lorenzo opened one chest. A cloud of dust rose, and the old man coughed. The documents were written in Old Venetian. The history of the palazzo, sales records, letters, and then a letter. Its red wax seal was unbroken. Only was a single symbol, a closed book with a moon above it. Lorenzo's hand trembled, broke the seal. Inside was a letter, the ink still readable. To the guardian of the Book of Silence, by the time you read these lines, I will be gone. But you must know that this book is no ordinary work. When read page by page, it leads the reader's soul into silence. Some call it a curse, others a blessing. I know only this: whoever reads this book to the end will learn Venice's deepest secret. But be careful, the book calls to itself. In the wrong hands, a silence will fall upon the city, and it will never lift again. Fra Benedetto, 146 inches. Lorenzo slowly folded the letter. His heart was racing. 40 years in this library, and he had never heard of such a secret. The Book of Silence. Could it truly possess such power? When he returned upstairs, he looked out the window. The fog over Venice had grown thicker. A few lanterns flickered in the distance, but there was no sound. No sound at all. No gondoliers' songs, no laughter from taverns, no cats meowing, only silence. Fear crept into Lorenzo's chest. How long had the book been gone? And if someone was reading it, what was happening to Venice? The old man took his cloak and moved toward the door, but stopped before opening it. Oh, had someone entered the library? The keys were with him, and there were no others. Or were there? He turned back to the Count's old desk. The drawers were locked, but during years of cleaning, Lorenzo had discovered a secret, a hidden compartment beneath the desk. He reached under it, slid the wood aside, and found a small key, old, rusted, but still usable. What did this key open? Lorenzo searched the library from end to end, trying every door and cabinet. Finally, behind a large wall tapestry on the western wall, he found something, a small door. So small it was almost unnoticeable. He inserted the key, turned it. A click echoed. The door slowly opened. Behind it was a narrow staircase descending into darkness. The candlelight illuminated only the first few steps. Lorenzo took a deep breath. 40 years on this library, and he had never known this passage existed. What else had he never known? He descended the stairs. The stone walls were cold and damp. His footsteps echoed. He didn't know how far he went down, but at last he reached a room. It was small, almost like a cell. Shelves lined the walls, and on them were books. But these books were different from those in the library. Older, more mysterious. Strange symbols adorned their covers, and in the center, on a stone table, lay an open book. Lorenzo stepped closer. It was the Book of Silence. He recognized it instantly. The pages were open, and fresh candle wax had dripped onto them. Someone had read it here very recently. The old man leaned over the book. The pages were written in an ancient language, but Lorenzo knew Latin, began to read slowly. Silence is a gift, but also a burden. In silence you hear the truth, but the truth is not always pleasant. Whoever reads these pages will hear the heart of Venice, the city's breath, the song of water, the memories of stone. Lorenzo stopped. The words seemed to rise from the page, dancing in the air. His head spun. For a moment, he forgot the palazzo above him, forgot Venice itself. They were only the words, echoing in silence. Then he heard a sound from above, footsteps. Someone was entering the library. Lorenzo quickly closed the book and extinguished the candle. He stood in darkness, his heart pounding wildly. The footsteps drew closer, slow, measured. Someone was descending the hidden stairs. The old man retreated, hiding behind the shelves. He held his breath. A figure appeared in the darkness, holding a lantern. When the light reached her face, Lorenzo gasped. It was a young woman. She wore a black cloak, her hair braided. Her face was pale but beautiful. Her eyes locked onto the Book of Silence. She approached the table and opened the book. She began to read, her lips moving silently. Lorenzo watched. Her face showed deep concentration, almost a trance. He didn't know how long she read, but finally she closed the book, took a deep breath, and spoke into the darkness. "I know you're there, Lorenzo." The old man froze. How did she know his name? "Come out," she said gently. "You don't need to be afraid. I'm not your enemy." Lorenzo slowly stepped out. The woman looked at him, sadness in her eyes. "Who are you?" he asked. "My name is Chiara," she said, "and I am Count Grimani's daughter." Lorenzo's eyes widened, but the Count had no children. "That's what everyone believed," Chiara said. "But the truth is different. My mother was a slave from Constantinople. The Count loved her, but could not marry her. When I was born, he sent me to a convent. Now he's dead, and I have returned." "Why?" Lorenzo asked. "And what does this book have to do with you?" Chiara smiled, but it was a painful smile. "This book was my mother's inheritance. She brought it from Constantinople. Inside it is a secret kept since the founding of Venice." Lorenzo waited.
Venice was built on thirst, Chiara continued.
A city surrounded by water, yet without drinking water. The founding families made a pact, silence in exchange for water. The quieter the city, the more prosperous it would be. The canals would fill, trade would flourish, Venice would grow strong. "That's a legend," Lorenzo said. "No," Chiara replied. "It's the truth. On the Book of Silence is the record of that pact." Every page contains the silence promised by the founding families. But now, the city is too loud. People have forgotten, and the book warns us. Lorenzo shook his head. So when you read this book, the city remembers, Chiara said. Silence returns, but this time, it may be permanent. A heavy silence fell. The walls seemed to close in. What will you do now? Lorenzo asked. Chiara touched the book. I must finish it. I must read the final page. Only then will the pact be renewed, and Venice will be saved.
And if you do? Lorenzo asked.
Tears welled in Chiara's eyes. Then I will become part of the silence. We'll merge with Venice's stones and waters, but the city will live. No, Lorenzo said, reaching out. You can't. There must be another way. There isn't, Chiara said softly. My mother tried. That's why she died. My father tried and gave up. But I am different. I carry my mother's blood and my father's name. Only I can complete this pact. Chiara opened the book and began to read the final page. The words echoed through the room. An ancient language, perhaps the tongue of the first Venetians. The words struck the walls, rose to the ceiling, etched themselves into stone. Then Chiara's voice fell silent. The book closed. The lantern went out. Darkness. After a long moment, Lorenzo reached out. There was nothing. Chiara was gone. Only the book remained resting silently on the table. Lorenzo carried it upstairs, through the hidden door, back into the library. Outside, the fog was lifting. Moonlight shimmered on the canals. Gondolas rocked gently. And there was a sound, the sound of water. A slow, rhythmic, soothing song. Lorenzo smiled. Chiara had been right. Silence was a gift. He returned the book to its place, the third shelf beside the Byzantine manuscripts, and left a note for future generations. Do not touch this book. The silence within it is our peace. He extinguished the lantern, took his cloak, and left. That night, Lorenzo slept better than he had in 40 years. Venice breathed, silently, peacefully, and the Book of Silence still waits.